Let's talk about something everyone experiences at some point on the dance floor: rejection. And no, I'm not going to give you the, oh, don't take it personal. There's lots of reasons why people say no version of events. No, I'm going to give you my real truth, the no gatekeeping truth, and some gems to help you deal with rejection and at least reduce its occurrence. So let's get into it. First, I want to start by saying that Kizomba rejection or rejection on the Kizomba dance floor just seems a lot more raw and personal than it does in other dances. When I say other dances, I mean like salsa and bachata. And I think that is because Kizomba is a lot more closer dance. And contrary to salsa and bachata, we're dancing in Kizomba like 3, 4+ songs with any one dance partner before we switch. So someone saying no to a dance, when you invite them, it just feels a little bit more raw and more personal. So you're not crazy to feel like a rejection feels quite personal. I can understand that, and I feel that way sometimes too. It just feels like someone saying no, they're not interested in kind of having that connection with you in the dance, or they don't want to be in close proximity to you for 5 minutes or whatever it is. So I totally get that. So let's talk about how we can reduce feeling bad about being rejection and how we can deal with it and move on with it in a kind of positive way. So, do I ask for dances? There are occasions where I do ask for dances. I would say maybe on a average festival night, say I ask for like 10 to 20% of my dances, and the other times when I'm dancing, it's more of an invite. And that is kind of like my key strategy. I don't really particularly ask for dances as a follower. I build my strategy around getting the invite to dance. And there are some key things that I do that I think you could also potentially use if you feel aligned with that in setting up the invite to a dance. And the first ones are pretty basic fundamentals that everyone, lead and follows, should be doing if you want to, be attractive to someone to ask you to dance or someone accepting your invitation to dance. So, basic number one is wash. I'm talking about proper basics here. I'm going to cover them quickly so we get them out there, we know. So, and I'm not saying you need to do one or two of these basics. I mean, you need to be doing all of them. Yeah, if you're not doing all of the basics I'm going to be talking about, then you really can't be complaining why you might be getting refused to dance with, or people aren't inviting you to dance. So the first basic one, is in this fundamentals in reducing the amount of rejection you get, is washing. Make sure you're clean. Basic. Number two is dress well. It's the first impression. Like in everything we do in life, first impression counts, and that's what people are going off first. So dress well. Your style is really, really important in life in general. So you need to be dressing well. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you need to be spending loads of money on clothes. No, it just means that you need to look decent, presentable. Yeah, so dress well. Number three, smell good. These basics are even more important for leads, but they still apply to the followers, of course. So smell good. That means deodorant. Well, it means washing, number one. And it means deodorant, perfume, smelling good. And it's really nice, especially as a follower, when you go to dance with a lead and you smell this aroma from a lead and they smell good. Like it really leaves a lasting impression on you. So definitely smell good. Number four is your energy. Your energy really does speak volumes. So that means smiling, being quite engaging, being a happy person. People want to be around happy people. It also means people want to be around fun people. So maybe you're vibing on your own while you're not dancing a little bit, dancing around, using that jinga, some lady styling if you're doing lady styling. That definitely increases the number of people that will invite you to dance. Number five, basic number five, you need to be working on your dance. the better dancer you are, the more likely you're going to get invitations to dance, or you inviting someone to dance, someone will say yes straight away. So you need to be working on your dance. That means going to classes. It means working on your solo body movement, because your solo body movement and the way your style and the way you do things is paramount to kind of like everything in life, but it's definitely paramount in Kizomba. So don't neglect working on your solo movement. I've got so much videos, tutorial videos on my channel. I'll leave in the link in the description box below and up above that you can look at to do your solo styling, solo movement, body control. Classes, partner work classes are very important as well. If you've got a dance partner, someone in your local area that you can meet up and practice with, do that. Otherwise, online classes. I do online classes. So if you want some more classes, tips, reach out to me online. All my details will be in the description box below. But definitely work on your dance. And these are the basic fundamentals that I do that attract people to invite me to dance. And there's nothing complicated or hard about any of those. Oh, also another top tip for the followers definitely is position yourself well on the dance floor. There is literally no point in you standing in the queue of women. Yeah, if you're not waiting for a specific artist or guest dancer or whatever, and that's specifically what you choose and want to do in that time, avoid standing by other people and other women, the followers. Try to find somewhere less crowded, because it's less intimidating for a lead to ask you to dance as well. And if you're not specifically looking for an artist to dance with, avoid standing by the DJ booth, because like leads that aren't necessarily famous are not going to be standing by the DJ booth, because it's quite a high intense pressure environment down there by the DJ booth. So if you're not specifically looking to dance with a specific artist or whatever, I wouldn't say that's the best place to stand. Try and stand further on into the venue, into the dance floor. So let's deal with the counter argument. There are lots of reasons why people say no. It's a perfectly valid counter argument, and there are lots of reasons why people say no, and it's also very valid for you to say no for any of those reasons plus any of your own reasons as well. If you're not in the mood to dance, your feet might be tired, you might just be tired in general, you might want to drink, you might want to break, you might need the toilet, might not like the song that's playing or the songs that are playing at the moment, or it's not your style of music. Maybe they're playing urban, you don't dance urban. Maybe they're playing kizomba, you don't dance kizomba, and vice versa. So there are lots of reasons why people say no, and there's lots of valid reasons why you might say no as well. Let's put that to bed. However, talking about me personally doesn't mean that you should take on my way of dealing with things. I wouldn't advise you to take on necessarily my mindset, particularly in this region. But for me, like if I've asked a lead to dance and they say no, they're pretty much dead to me. Like I'm not gonna look in your direction ever again, probably, and I'm not gonna ask you to dance ever again. So it really is, if they generally had a genuine reason why they couldn't dance with me in that moment, if they did want to dance with me again or want to make it up to me, they would have to come and ask me to dance. I'm not going to go and ask them to dance. I'll take a no as a no. I'll take a no as a no forever. Do you know what I mean? But I wouldn't necessarily advise you to do that. I think it's just like, let's just be real. I feel like a no, it kind of, bruises the ego a little bit. It kind of knocks the confidence a little bit. And you shouldn't take it personally. Like I said, there are valid reasons why people say no. I think it's important, like how you bounce back from that no. So for me, what I do is I might take a drink, an alcoholic drink. I might take a break. I might vibe and enjoy the music on my own for a little bit. I also, what helps me really well to reset after a no or a rejection is to dance with someone more familiar or a friend that might be at the event. And that helps me reset my vibe. And then I always just move on and wait till someone else asks me to dance, or I might, because I lead as well as follow, so I might ask a lady to dance, to invite ladies. I find when a lady dances with another lady, they're less likely to say no. And if they do say no, I kind of take that as they want to dance with a man. So I take that less personal. Like at the end of the day, I'm not a man, so that's fine. So those are the kind of things that I do to reset my energy and yeah, just move on. So some of those might resonate with you and that you can try some of those. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, let me know in the comments your thoughts, feelings around rejection. I'm really interested to hear. Don't miss out on all my videos and tips I've got coming up about all the important, crucial tips, advices, things that go down on the Kizomba floor that we need to be discussing. I also think there's a good way to say no as well. So in a polite, respectful way, that's important, leads and follows. It's very important to not say no and then to give a disingenuous reason why you're saying no. So don't say no and then you're saying no because you're tired and then 5 minutes later you're dancing with someone else. So it just makes you not look like a very nice person. So just say no, but thank you so much for asking and leave it at that. You don't necessarily have to explain yourself, but no, but thank you so much for asking. Done. So to my leads, as I was saying, there's some really, really top tip things that you should be doing to avoid rejection on the dance floor. I do feel like followers, do you agree? Leads, do you agree? I do feel like leads can handle rejection kind of better because they have typically more experience in dealing with rejection, because just being a man or a masculine man, normally they're the ones doing the inviting. So I feel like they get practice in and maybe over time can deal with rejection a bit easier, potentially. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But that being said, for a follower to accept a dance from a lead, there are those basics that I mentioned earlier on in the video that are really, really important and the more important for the leads. Yes, so those were basic 1, washing, being clean. Basic 2, dressing well. Basic 3, smelling good. Like I said, for leads, you're more likely to sweat and have a lower threshold for sweat. Yes, I know that some venues have better air conditioning than others, but you really do need to be intentional. So like bring a hand towel to mop sweat, bring a change of t-shirt. If you can, invest in the main venue so that you can go and upstairs, shower, freshen up and come back down without missing too much dance time, because it really, really, really is important and easy basics for you to tick off as a lead to get more people dancing with you and accepting a dance. Again, working on your dance is so super, super, super important. Sometimes in classes, I don't see that many leads there, and I don't know why, because you really need to be working on your dance. Like, because on the dance floor, on the social dance floor, people watch other people, and not just watching other people, seeing how they dance. People talk between each other. The leads talk between each other. They'll be like, oh, don't dance with Mary Jane. She's not very good. She's a heavy follower. So that's why followers, you need to be working on your game. The followers talk within themselves. They're like, oh, I danced with Joe and he wasn't any good and he doesn't know how to step, doesn't know his basics. So like you need to be working on your dance. It's really, really important. Especially if you're not at the stage yet where you're kind of like more known in the community or on the dance scene. So you just get in people asking you to dance from the fact that they've seen you online dancing. Do you know what I mean? And you're not like guest dancer, artist in that sense. Just knocking off the basics is going to be really important. Also, another thing that you really should be doing, I think, Lee, so it really helps, is before you inviting someone for a dance, is either making some nice eye contact or smiling with them and politely asking them for the dance. They're really less likely to say no. If someone's pleasant to you and nice to you, have a good energy, there really isn't much reason why you're going to say no. Do you know what I mean? Unless you've been watching them on the dance floor and this is why I say you need to work on your dance. You've been watching them on the dance floor and then have got no spatial awareness. They're moving the girl left and right. She's nearly falling over. So it's really important to be safe on the dance floor, know what you're doing by going to classes, as well as the basics and presenting yourself well. I want to talk about this practice that I've seen on the dance floor. And I really want your comments if you've seen this and what you think about it. Yeah. So there's this practice that I've actually seen in festivals or in bigger events. Yeah. So say there's a line of say 5 followers and they're actively looking for a dance. You can see they're standing up, they're near the dance floor. And then the lead comes along and he asks follower number 1 in that line for a dance. She says no. Then he asks the girl right next to her, follower number 2, asks for a dance, and she says no. Then he asks follower number 3, same thing, no. He asks follower number 4, follower number 4 says yes, and they go and dance. Yeah, so let's deal with that scenario. For me, I get it. That means you're in the headspace where you can move on from a no, which is really good. It means that you don't take no's personally. Like we're trying not to take a no personally, and you're moving on to the next one. I get that. But as a follower, if I think, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, that if I've seen you've asked the lady before me, and she said no, I now feel like a option B or C, or I feel like a backup option. So I don't feel very special. So that's one thing that might be right. I would also say no, because now I don't feel very special. So for leads, I would say if girl A says no, I wouldn't necessarily ask girl B right next to her, potentially go further on into the dance floor and ask another girl. Because I feel like if it was me, I wouldn't be wanting to dance with him. 2 reasons. One, I don't feel very special that he generally wants to invite me to dance or wants to dance with me. I'm now option number 2 or 3 down the line. Number 2, which I think is a phenomenon that happens quite common, or it's definitely a thing. I don't know the name for it, but there is a thing where if a woman rejects a guy and she sees that, then automatically I want to reject him, because it's like if she doesn't like him, I'm not going to like him either. If she doesn't want him, I don't want him either. Do you know what I mean? Where there's a thing where like if loads of girls want to dance with or be with romantically, like in normal life, with a certain guy, then there's a more of a pull that you want to be with that person or dance with that person. Whereas if as other girls don't want him, you don't want him either. Do you know what I mean? So in both scenarios, neither of them work out well for the lead. So I wouldn't necessarily, if I was a lead, I wouldn't be doing that. Or there's the outcome of the scenario where, say, follower 3 or 4 in the queue says yes to that dance, and they go off and dance. Now I'm thinking about, would I do that? Would I be follower number 4 and say yes? And in a way, I am a bit soft sometimes. So I feel like I would have said yes. But I don't think it's a good yes for a lead. I feel like it's more of a pity, sympathy yes. Because you kind of feel bad. And that's happened to me on the dance floor before, where I've seen a lead ask a lady and she said no. And then maybe he's walked off somewhere else, or he's walked off somewhere else. And I feel bad, and then I feel like, I'll ask him to dance. So it feels like it's a pity dance. So I feel like in this scenario where you've got a queue of followers and the lead goes down that queue asking them to dance one after the other, it doesn't end well. It either ends in you get rejected by all the women, just because if one doesn't want you and the other one sees the rest don't want you, they think there's something wrong with you. Or 2, you get a dance, but it's a pity dance. So like I said, I think in that scenario, again, I'm really interested to see your comments and your take on this. In that scenario, as a lead, if I've asked girl A here and she says no, I would go over to the other side of the room and ask girl B for a dance. And I feel that will make girl B over there feel like it's a genuine invite. Again, smiling, polite, eye contact, report if you can before you go to the invite. But I feel like that will make girl B feel better, a lot better.
She won't know, be none the wiser as to that you got rejected by whoever before. And I feel like her yes will be a genuine yes to a dance rather than a pity dance, and that will make you feel better as a lead as well. So let me know what you think. In a summary type of thing, I think that Rejection, it does feel more personal in Kizomba than it does, say, salsa, bachata, and other dances. There are things that you can do to reduce the occurrence of it, those basics that I talked about. Really working on yourself, just your mindset and your way you dance, and just personally, and just being gracious in the rejection. If you're going to say no, no, but thank you for asking, and have a strategy for you that works for you to bounce back from rejection. Like I said, whether that is having a drink, taking a break, dancing, vibing to the music for a little bit by yourself, or dancing with a friend, someone more familiar. Definitely find ways that you can bounce back quickly from rejection so that you can enjoy the rest of your dancing experience. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe if you haven't already. And I've been Christina Mckiztosh of Mckiztosh Dance, and I hope to see you in the next video.